Hello and welcome to the Bird Haters of America Club. Uh, I'm Lynn, that's Ciarra. I know we don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it and we should talk about it because we need to be here for each other in moments like this. Uh, Ciarra, how you doing tonight?
I don't know how to answer that question. So I found myself during this last inning. I'm like, do I want this game to end to put me out of my misery, or do I want them to keep fighting? Because this was a very rough game. It's been a rough series so far, but at least they finally put up some runs at some point during this one. Yesterday they went down without a fight, and it's
Yeah.
it's so discouraging because when you look back to the wild card series, Boston's not a team that you just brush off. They're a good team. Um, and the Yankees, it was a good game every single game. Every single game they went out there, they put up a fight, even in the first one that they lost. But they're nowhere to be found in this series. And if they don't win Tuesday night, it's over.
Yeah, and the only thing that's keeping me in my seat right now is that we're heading home. But if I was in the stadium tomorrow, I'd probably be coming with a whole big bag of rotten tomatoes to throw at them anyway. That I'm just so angry at these people, and the chat comes marching in, and so let me just do a quick roll call for all of us in solidarity who just lived through that game. Congratulations on making it through those 9 innings, because it was not pleasant, and it was unacceptable. And I don't know, I lost count at how many times I would have to go to confession. Um, probably by the third inning, I started reinventing curse words that aren't in my typical vocabulary because I was bored with the ones I was using over and over and over again. But hey, I want to say hello to Jonathan and John the Beagle Dad, and Healing Men's Hearts, and my sister Karen. Hey, listen, Mom's watching you, Karen. Really? Woo! I heard her say Karen Ann when I saw that. I was laughing. And who else we got here? We saw we saw Pinstripe Chronicles a lot here scrolling through. Because I kept thinking, okay, we're gonna go live any minute now. Shayna, little ray of sunshine. Even you couldn't cheer us up right now, Shayna. Jacob, what's up? Jordan, great to see you. And Mr. Barrows, we're right there with you. Puking your guts up. I feel you, Mr. Barrows. And Numbers Guy is here. It's been a hot minute. Good to see you. And Blaze is here. And I think that's it for attendance right now. Um, so let's just start as if it was a normal Sunday show with Spencer's trivia question of the week. And I guess Spencer really wanted us to forget things for a minute because he went full on history lesson this week, and I'm glad because he's reminding me of something more pleasant about the team and the postseason. So Cam Schlittler's performance in Wild Card Game 3 against the Red Sox will go down as one of the greatest playoff performances in Yankees history. It's no coincidence he did this on October 2nd, 47 years to the day that Bucky Dent's home run that clinched the Yankees' AL East title over the Red Sox. Another Yankees pitcher with a memorable playoff performance was Roger Clemens, who pitched a legendary one-hitter in Game 4 of the 2000 ALCS against the Mariners. Who was the Mariner who got the only hit off of Clemens that game?
The only Mariner that I could ever think of, well, outside of A-Rod, is Ichiro Suzuki. the only one.
You're locking in your guess, and we'll tell you at the end of the show, Ciarra. The rest of you, if you want to put your guesses in the chat, go for it. And thank you, Spencer, as always, for the great question of the week. So, All right, so we might as well take a look back. I'm not suggesting we look back on today yet. I wanna break from that, or even yesterday. But let's talk a minute about the wild card series, which seems like 12 years ago. But you look, they got their win, and they thought they were going to take us, but they didn't. So let's
Listen,
remember that. Let's have a moment of silence for that moment of happiness and joy. May we know what that feels like again. Um, and Jonathan saying Yankees not
I
having
agree.
Yarbrough was a big mistake. Absolutely. You know what wasn't a mistake was okay. It's fine with me that they kept a Leiter Jr. off the 26 man. I don't think anyone's weeping about that. But yeah, we needed Yarbrough back, and we're missing him now. That's for sure. All right, so let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday we lost. Anything else to say?
Yeah. So I have a lot to say actually. So I'm actually going to back up and do a review, just a quick review of the wild card round, because there was a point in the wild card round that I was agreeing with Red Sox fans. I thought the Yankees were done for. Game one, Fried goes out. He pitches a gem, right? He and Crochet go toe to toe. Crochet is going to either be the Cy Young winner or the runner up between him and Skubal. So you get a pitching matchup of a lifetime. They go out there, they do their thing. Yankees in the first inning had 2 hits straight out the gate on Crochet. And then in the last inning, in a game where you can come back and win, because it was 3-1 at that point. Correct me if I'm wrong on the score because I can't remember, but it was a very close game. Aroldis Chapman, who has been lights out all season, who for most of his career has been lights out. Like, I know we remember the bad times with him, but let's be honest. The guy has a World Series ring. He's been lights out. He's a good pitcher, regardless of how weird he is. He lets you – he gives you a bases-loaded scenario with no outs. All 3 guys that go up after that let us down. So going into game 2, we're like, I don't know what to expect. I want a really big game out of Rodon, but I don't know what the offense is going to do. Well, the Yankees come out and they win. Game 3, you have a rookie versus a rookie. And if we're being honest, Connolly early from the Red Sox actually looked really good, but the Red Sox defense played like the New York Yankees defense normally does, and they let him down. But our rookie went out and made MLB history, gave you 8 innings. And first of all, I don't give Boone credit for anything, but he looked at Cam Schlittler and said, you want to go back out there for the 8th inning? And he believed in him. So he gave you 8 full innings. He gave you 12 strikeouts, 0 walks, 0 earned runs. Never been done in a playoff debut ever. Not just Yankee history, MLB history. And the Yankees take the wild card. And you know what? It felt so good because Red Sox fans, Blue Jays fans, Orioles fans, Dodgers fans, they all sit online and they say the Yankees have the worst fan base of any baseball team. Red Sox fans were going at Cam Schlittler's mom online, which I think crosses the line, simply for the fact that Cam's family was always Boston Red Sox fans. But now that he plays for the Yankees, they are no longer fans. That's how that works. When your son makes an MLB team, you become a fan of the team he's on. So if that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, Snowflake, but maybe you need to go back to kindergarten. So I just wanted to give some love to Cam Schlittler because he went out and he shoved it up there, you know what, after they came for his mom. So good for him. Yesterday.
But wait, can I say something about Schlittler before we move on?
Yes.
I'd like to talk about Schlittler for the whole show, but so Boone let him go 8. Mm-hmm. Why not let him come back in the 9th at that point? You know, then I wish that he had the full game, the full game no-hitter then okay, 8 innings, and then some other guy took the rest.
So it wouldn't have been a no-hitter, right? It would have just been because he didn't give us
right. Yeah. Did I say no-hitter? I'm delirious.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, did I? I was
I meant to shut out. This is how distraught I am emotionally and mentally. Go ahead.
I don't have a good answer for you on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. But I really thought the series was important because everyone always talks about how Alex Cora is this big bad manager who outmanages Aaron Boone. Well, guess what? He didn't do it this time around. He didn't. He didn't do a good job of playing like there is no tomorrow, but also playing for the game that he's in at that moment, if that makes sense. He was outmatched. And I just think there's some credit due there. Now, looking back to yesterday, all that goes out the window because the Yankees had no fight in them whatsoever. They lost, 10-1? At one point, I think I just walked away and stopped watching because that's how bad it was. I was just like, I can't do this right now. Luis Gil, his velocity has had issues his past couple of starts. Like, this isn't news. I honestly, when the Yankees were like, we don't know if we want to put Luis Gil, if we want to put Will Warren, I truly didn't think Luis Gil was making the roster at all, let alone taking the ball in the first game. So, but I guess they really had no choice because obviously to keep the rotation intact, Fried would have to go today. So that leads us to today, right? Fried, I don't know what the hell was wrong with Fried. How do you go from pitching a gem last week to whatever the hell that was today? Did going 102 pitches affect him that much? Like, is he still fatigued from the wild card round? Because that's not the Max Fried that we know. He went, what did I say? 3 innings, I think it was. Just over 3 innings.
Just over. Yeah.
3 innings, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, only struck out 1, gave up 2 walks, and 7 earned runs. He only gave up 1 home run. That's the crazy part. So then in comes Will Warren. And I know you and I disagree a little bit about this, but I think Will Warren just added to the bleeding. He gave you 4 2/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 home runs, 4 strikeouts to match the home run. So yippee, hooray. But so the Jays were already at 5-0 in the third. And the 4th inning, Vladdy, who's just having a series of his life on both sides of the ball, hits a grand slam. Does not help the Yankees at all. Followed by a Dalton Varsho 2-run shot to make it 11-0, right? Yankees try to rally. You get a 2-run homer by Belly, which congratulations for showing up, Bellinger. And then in the 7th, you get some RBIs by Rice and Stanton, who both went. Rice went 2 for 4 today. He got a walk on his last at bat. Stanton went 2 for 5 today. They trimmed the lead down to 13-7, but at that point, it's the 7th inning. I'm not saying it's impossible to come back, but you just haven't been playing well enough to make me believe that you're going to come back. And they obviously they didn't come back because that's what we're talking about right now. And they lose. You have to go home now to the Bronx where it's do or die.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess mathematically, look at all the damage Toronto did in the first 5-7 innings yesterday and today especially. I guess we could have. Clearly, we didn't. And I will keep my words for hot takes, which is coming up fast. But I just feel like Fried has not been right since he was out. There's still something that has him not consistent at all. He's good. He's not. He locates well. He's not. Is he tipping pitches? I don't know. What was the deal? But they had him figured out from Jump Street today, and so it was just torture. It was just torture watching him. As for Heel, I understand that it had to be him because of the rotation order, but I think all bets are off in the postseason, especially especially in the division series. I would have gone for the better man, which we'll never know. But Heel wouldn't have been my choice because Heel, I'm going to be redundant, but same thing about him. He just is not. His command is off. His location is off. He's trying. How did Michael Kay put it this morning? Something like he wants to be an artist. He wants to pay. He wants to just try things, and this isn't the time. So I really didn't want Heel in the rotation at all for a 5-game series. But there we are, and we got what we got out of it, which was nothing. So, And this bullpen, you and I talked about this for a hot second before coming on, Ciarra. I mean, this bullpen is hit and miss is being kind. Luke Weaver, I'm sure his ears are going to be burning by the time we sign off, because he is not who he used to be. And I do, in due respect, though, he knows it. He was accountable to the media about it yesterday, and basically said, "I got to get my head straight on some things," and left everybody theorizing about what does that mean, and doesn't mean he's been tipping his pitches. He was for him, he wasn't being coy, but he definitely did not want to go any further about what that meant. So he has some stuff to figure out. I hope he figures it out. Does it look like he figured it out today? Well, I mean, great. He got that last out at the bottom of the quadrillionth inning today. Okay, so that's great. But I'm worried about him, and he used to be one of our reliables. He's not anymore. So this bullpen is a worry other than Bednar. So I am not at all optimistic. And do we want to have mercy on our souls and just say, okay, hand it over to the Blue Jays so that the Yankees could just go and figure themselves out and come back better in the spring? I honestly don't know right now, but today was a stunner, and not in that great way. And so there's all sorts of comments to that coming in. And Jordan saying, yeah, looked like Luke might have been tipping. Healingman's Hearts is saying, oh, maybe he has a sick family member. Yeah, it's definitely hard to know what's going on with Weaver. But you would think if it was something personal in that way, he would have a conversation with Boone, and it wouldn't have even been a consideration then. And Jordan saying, yes, the bullpen keeps you on a knife's edge. They're supposed to be our battalion that comes in to save the battle. we ain't got no battalion, but we got plenty of battle. And yeah, I know I hate that we're talking about next year, Mr. Barrows, but I agree. Well, there's going to be no room for Heel in the rotation when Cole gets back. So it's going to be another Stroman situation, right? And maybe sooner than that. Maybe we should be having Heel in the pen, if we advance any further. So we'll see what happens about that.
That's an interesting dilemma, because I'm sorry, I was just thinking of this as you were saying it. So let's, Cole comes back at some point next year. You have Rodon, you have Fried. Schlittler's obviously solidified himself in this rotation. You have Will Warren and Heel on the bubble. You don't get Clark Schmidt back until July. That is an interesting dilemma that the Yankees are facing. But I have a feeling that just like this season, it'll work itself out whether we like it or not. So it's just
okay.
This is what it is.
I would just like to think that for a change, it's going to be in a way that we like. We've had enough of what we don't. I think we deserve a little decision making that we're okay with for a change. Healingman's Heart is saying Heel is probably trade bait.
He should have been trade bait this season, if we're being honest. When the Houston Astros wanted him for Kyle Tucker, that's when he should have been the trade bait.
Yeah, well, that's the Yankee way, isn't it? Let's wait until the good moment, the best moment is gone, and then it's like right after Rookie of the Year should have been the time. Mm-hmm. But no, let's just get him through the rehab and put him out there and show everybody how he's not adjusting well. How's that working out for us? So, and what I'll just add to game one, not that I like to put any, light on the Mariners, but Gausman is just an absolute Yankee killer. I'd like to have him on our side. Could we have him on our side? It's just, and here's the thing. I have a number here. So he had 17 out of 22 first pitch strikes. So, like, fully in command, knows what the Yankees are going to take, knows that they're going to forget that they're not playing golf and swing at anything, because that has been the theme of the series, and a good chunk of the season in many ways. And, I just have such a peeve for this first swing at the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was going to save it to, hot takes, but I just, there's a time for it. But and I'm not saying you shouldn't swing at the first pitch, but literally to a man yesterday and to some extent today, that's what it was. Like, you get 3 chances, and you're in no position to waste any of them. So anyway, and another pet peeve of mine from yesterday is, why wasn't Caballero in the lineup to begin with? So he came in to pinch run, but he doesn't have Caballero run. He doesn't give him the signal to run, which is what he was put on there to do. And Boone, did Boone have a good answer for that? No, he didn't. When he was asked, he's like, I just said forget it. Really? That's your answer? You save him for a pinch run situation. It was the perfect moment to put him in, and you don't even use him the way he was supposed to be used. So he continues to not manage at all. He's completely unmanageable in his management. And then, of course, Weaver with his, giving up 4 hits and 5 runs. And, Cruz was Cruz, but nothing of the usual, level that he was. And, Hill did a decent job, and so did Duvall for a change. But, like, it's the very softest of golf claps for them. And this is our bullpen, ladies and gentlemen.
It's also hard, though, and I agree they didn't do a good job, but it's also hard when you're going to the bullpen in the 3rd inning, right? Like, that's 2 games in a row. That's difficult for a bullpen. They all need this day off tomorrow because they're – who knows what's going to happen on Tuesday? Is Rodon going to show up and shove, or is he going to show up and be what Heel and Fried were?
Yeah, and I have to say that Rodon was in the middle of the 2 Rodons against Boston. Did fine. Went long enough, but not as long as you would want. And there was a couple of moments where I'm like, oh, is his wife not in the crowd? Because I feel like he might go into his head for a minute. Don't do it. And he didn't. But not really ace Rodon. So I'm hoping that he gets the message now that it's really on him, because the lights are going to be on him Tuesday night. Thank God we have a day off tomorrow from this. But he better do the thing. So anything else you wanted to say about game 1 and what do we want to go to about game 2 and this other phenom? I'm going to call him Ye Savage, because it's not Ye Savage, it's Ye Savage. He's a savage. Ye.
I don't know. And as the kids would say, 6, 7, because I have nothing to say at this point, because they sucked for the first 2 games. Like, I'm ready to move on to game 3. Game 1 and 2 of this ALDS were just trash. If they don't give up not that it matters because Fried was awful, but if they don't give up the grand slam, it's a different game. The Yankees make that comeback, it's a different game. But I can't sit here and do the ifs and the whats and the whataboutisms, because at the end of the day, the pitching was bad. The offense showed up too late. Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton haven't had any clutch moments. Jazz hasn't had any clutch moments. Like, And I'm just frustrated. And game 3, they just need to start fresh at this point.
You're right, and actually, what you're doing is trying to spare more angst and pain by saying, "Oh, let's just gloss over today. We're all exhausted from it." And hey, Lori, glad to see you found us. And yeah, send the Yankees to their local tea times. It looks like that might be the case, and you know what? Might as well, because that's what those swings looked like 90% of the time this series so far. What the hell were they doing in the dirt with the tip of their bat?
Yeah.
Every single one of them to the man.
Yeah. Healing Men's Heart says that bases loaded strikeout for Judge in game 1 might have been the moment of the series. I agree. Judge, so he hasn't been bad, right? He's still hitting the ball in the postseason, which is what we wanted. But those clutch moments, he's not capitalizing, and that's what we need. Like, you're supposed to be Captain America. And Judge typically hits very well in Rogers Center. I mean, we watched him break the freaking the maple leaf, for crying out loud. Where is that version of Aaron Judge? He's nowhere to be found right now. So, I don't know, man.
And speaking of, where is he? I found this flyer on a lamppost today. I hope, if you want, I could email all of you a copy of it, and we could, just pass him out in our own neighborhoods, and maybe he'll show up. That's a really good question, because, we know he didn't show up in the last postseason. He has little whisperings of it so far, but if, and it's a huge if, bold-faced, all caps, triple underlined if, we make it past the Blue Jays, who knows what it's going to be like the next step of the way, because we don't have any.
I do want to say before, sorry,
I'm sputtering.
Before we jump into who's hot and who's not, because I know we want to let the people go for the football game, I would like to say, so in 2017, because I know we're all super negative right now, as we should be. In 2017, the Yankees did go down 0-2 to the Cleveland Guardians, who were 102-60 that season. And then they won the next 3 games to advance to the ALCS, unfortunately, against the Astros. But they have done it before. They can do it again. Does this 2025 team have the same fight in them as that 2017 team? Because that Cleveland Guardians team, in my opinion, would have dog walked this Toronto Blue Jays team, if we're being honest.
Right. And only time will tell, and time's ticking away. And we did keep a promise to you guys. And there are some hopefully enjoyable sporting moments ahead of us tonight. Those of us whose teams are kicking off at 8 o'clock.
If Josh Allen could just feed Keon Coleman the ball for fantasy football purposes, because I sat T. Higgins because he hasn't been touching the ball since Joe Burrow has been injured, and today all of a sudden he's on my bench and he has points. So if Keon Coleman could just magically do something for me today so that I can beat my opponent, that would be wonderful.
I'll see what I could do. I'm in full support of that. So let's just get to news and views, everybody. Don't worry about the Yankees so much, everybody. We still set a record this series. Did you know that? The Yankees have set a postseason franchise record for runs allowed over a 2-game span with 21. So there's that. Let's celebrate that. It's a record. No? Wah-wah. I think so too. Ciarra, if you had your choice between Warren and Heel, if we go to game 5, maybe you said it already, but everything's a blur because I'm so mentally clogged. Are you taking Warren or Heel? I think we kind of already addressed that. But if
I'm being honest with you, I'm putting Clark Schmidt out there in his brace. That's what I'm doing. Or I'm telling Garrett Cole, you're ready, because I can't watch either one of them at this point. No, thank you. That's how I feel.
Right. And Jordan, you know what? We do want to keep this. Oh, I didn't mean set pandemic. Jordan, if you're trying to get my goat, you almost did, but we don't have time, or I would be.
Jordan has a point. The Bills are rooting for the Blue Jays. So all those years that people said that the Bills were basically Canada, they might as well be right at this point because they're rooting for Toronto.
I am talking nothing but simple geography, ladies and gentlemen. Simple geography. So, geographically, Bills are a New York team. Who they align with is their business. But
politics.
Anyway, ain't nobody got time for that because I want to get to that kickoff myself. So anything you want to talk about, hot takes or otherwise, Ciarra?
I guess I gave my hot take by bringing up 2017, and I think that was more to remind myself to stay positive because this team just I wanted to crash out today. I already have the Sunday scaries because tomorrow's Monday, and the Yankees added to that. So just looking back to 2017, they can still do this. We got this.
I have no interest in going and looking at the rerun of the post-game report. I don't want to hear it. I'm just going to go right to pregame tomorrow. That's for sure. I want to forget that these two games ever happened. All right. So in terms of coming and going, there's only one to announce. Have you missed who's not in the bullpen? Anybody? Has anyone noticed who didn't make the 26th?
MLJ.
MLJ?
Mark Leiter Jr., MLJ.
Oh, MLJ. Okay, I didn't count the junior as an initial. Yes, MLJ. Yeah, I should be going to bed. I certainly shouldn't be co-hosting a show.
I mean, he might as well have stayed. Luis Gil hasn't been very helpful. He's on the roster for Luis Gil, and they could have went with Yarbrough. Or Yarbrough, is that what you always do?
Yeah, Yarbrough. Yes. So I hope there's some switcheroo, allowed when we make it past the Jays. I'm just going to start talking like that. I'm going to start turning the universe around. I invite everybody to join me. We're going to talk about it as if that's what's going to be, and it shall be. Yeah, you know what, Healing Men's Heart? I'm not scared of any Canadian geese. I'm really not. If they really if they are in our house on Tuesday and Wednesday, they have not met real Bronx fans who are upset and scared at the same time. So I think we'll have them hands down. If we lose in baseball, we'll keep it. We'll make up for it in our 4-letter words and throwing of beer cans all over the field. So really nothing to worry about there. So who's hot and who's not should be really fast, everybody. Go ahead, Ciarra. Who was hot?
Cam Schlittler. I mean, we talked about it earlier. He made not Yankee history, but MLB history. 8 shutout innings, 12 strikeouts, no walks in his major league postseason debut. And just incredible by Cam. I love the fact that the kid doesn't get rattled. Nothing gets to him. And that's just, he is, oh God, I'm going to get heat for this. He is what Luis Gil was supposed to be for the New York Yankees. Luis Gil on obviously the injuries have kind of hurt his career at this point. But Cam is homegrown. He's what you want to see come out of the Yankee system, especially when everyone always talks so negatively about our farm system.
That's right.
And I don't know about anybody else, but there's a side-by-side of him and Garrett Cole from when Garrett Cole pitched in Houston. They are the same person.
Yeah.
I swear to God, Garrett Cole could be this kid's dad.
And you know what? What really exemplified that is if anyone else caught after the game when they were doing the, pat each other on the butt thing, Cole shook Schlittler's hand. And it was that was I don't know if you watched a Great British Baking Show, when Paul Hollywood gives the handshake, it's the big deal. I mean, I've never seen Cole give a handshake, and he just is okay, kid, you're okay with me. In fact, you're me at your age. So stay under my wing. I got you. So that was just a really sweet moment. So I agree with you on Schlittler. Who's your other one? I know you have another one.
So I gave one more. I gave Ahmed Rosario a quick little nod because obviously he hasn't played that much, but he did have a very timely RBI in the fourth inning in Game 3 of the wild card, and I just thought that was really cool. Like, probably didn't expect to even be in that game, and he came in, he did his thing, and quietly went away. So shout out to Ahmed Rosario.
Yeah, I'm happy to have two people to shout out in this abysmal experience this weekend has been. I'm with you on Schlittler, so there's that. So I'll tell you who's on my who's not list. Everybody. Who's on your Ciarra?
So for me, I put most of the team in the Matt category because I was very proud of how they played in the wild card. But for who's not, based on the wild card and the first two games of the ALDS, I have Luis Heel, which is pretty obvious. Will Warren, because again, I know people are saying he stopped the bleeding. I think he added to the bleeding. And I'm not blaming him. It was already a bad game, but he just didn't look good either. Luke Weaver, because what the hell's wrong with him? And maybe I'm picking on Trent Grisham here a little bit, but how do you have the best season you've ever had in your entire career, and then all of that goes away as soon as you step into the postseason? I don't understand it. So that's my who's not list.
I hope it's not a predictor. I hope it's just a predictor that maybe he's done with the leadoff experiment. And maybe they need to rethink that. But can we expect Boone to rethink things at this point in the game? No, we barely can expect him to think. So he'll probably stay there for the duration. And, I was kind of joking when I said everybody, but, well, no, I really wasn't joking. And so no meh from you. It was one or the other for you, Ciarra.
I have one meh. I didn't write it down. I wanted to put him as a hot because he doesn't look bad. And he doesn't deserve to be a not, but I want to put Aaron Judge as a man right now because he has good numbers. I think he's hitting like 450 technically in the postseason right now. But he's not doing anything clutch. He's not doing anything to win games. You're the leader of this team, the face of this franchise. And while you're not playing poorly, I want to see more. I really do. Because typically we see it from Stanton, but he's a not right now. I don't know what he's swinging at. No. So I'm hoping to see more from, like I said, he's playing well, but I'm hoping to see more from Judge in Game 3.
Yeah. And Stanton, what's most frightening about him is he's the one we rely on in the postseason. He's Mr. Postseason for the team. Mm-hmm. And you can't even get it up for, the ALDS. Not a good, banner for if we go any further than that. And maybe you won't have to worry about that. And so in terms of hero of the week, I would say Schlittler. It's redundant, but he's the only one I could even remotely think about.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really anyone. I guess Schlittler is the obvious answer. I'm going to go with Ryan McMahon just for that dive that he made. Obviously, he hasn't done anything offensively, but that dive was just pretty incredible. And he got back up and went back out there like nothing happened. I don't know if you've ever seen the Simpsons meme where the grandpa walks in, takes his hat off, and then just turns back around and puts his hat back on and walks out. That was Aaron Boone. So he went to go run out to check on him. McMahon was fine, got up, and Boone just did a lap around home plate and went back into the dugout. So Ryan McMahon deserves a little bit of a pat on the back.
He does, and he did do a couple of things with the bat, and so nothing of consequence. But there wasn't really anything of consequence from the rest of the team either. So let's just say that he's playing like everybody else, and that hasn't been the case. Boy, am I stretching. All right. So we know what's next. We're back at home on Tuesday. Tomorrow's an off day. I know I need the day off. Ciarra, I have the sense that you need the day off from baseball. And I hope that the Yankees have a good long team meeting tomorrow and sort out some things, yell at each other a little bit, and then just get their heads on straight. because, it only matters so much that they're back in their house. They really still have to do the thing, and we can't take that for granted. So, and I do want to, before we get to the trivia question of the week real fast, Mr. Barrow said something that I liked very much. Where are you there? So, Mr. Barrow said something about we're going to win something, but now I can't.
He said we were going to win games 2 and 3, and then we're going to go on and spank some Blue Jay butt in game 5.
Oh yeah, Mr. Barrows, that's what it was. I like it, and I hope you're right, and let's just say you are right. Can't wait to see it, Mr. Barrows. Okay, so I'm putting the trivia question of the week up. There was one correct answer I saw in the chat, and so basically, Roger Clemens was pitching Game 4 of the 2000 ALCS against the Mariners. And he pitched a legendary one hitter against the Mariners. Who was the Mariner who got the only hit off of Clemens that game? And I saw some good answers, but congratulations to Mr. Barrows, who got it right. It was Al Martin. So, Mr. Barrows, you won the trivia question of the week contest. You'll get a prize in the mail as soon as I figure out how to get it to you. But yeah, good job, Mr. Barrows. Ciarra's laughing at something.
I'm laughing at you.
Okay. Oh, I like that. All right. So, chat, thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging on. If you have to get to a field goal near you like I do, I hope your team, as long as you're not facing the Bills, wins. And as always, Ciarra, thank you. I know you had a big, long day. We've all had a big, long day. But chat, you're the best. Be back next week. Don't ever leave us. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, you have a reserved seat with Ciarra and me right here on the upper deck. And I'm going to say it, even though it's unpopular, and I may not mean it at the moment. Go Yankees!